Does the term libertarian have a branding problem? And if so, what should we do about it? And we're starting with you, William Coley.
Absolutely. Absolutely, the Libertarian Party has a branding problem. We have an image problem, a very bad image problem. I work with a lot of people on the left. I've done everything I can to try to bring more people from the left into the Libertarian Party, even though I came from Ron Paul. Try to bring more people from the left into the Libertarian Party, even though I came from Ron Paul Republicans into the party. So there is an image problem. They believe that we are the crotchety older version of the Republican Party, the segregationist party, the Koch brothers party, and that's not true. And that's part of why I'm running, is I want to rebrand the party, because we already are the party of progress. The left, they're not the party of progress, they're the party of old ideas, recycling ideas that have failed over and over for the last 150 years. They're not the party of progress, they're the party of regression. Our party is the party of progress. Our party is the party of tolerance. The only true progress in life is every step you take toward furthering the ideas of liberty, toward more individual freedom for each individual. I already threw one. Oh, yeah. And, and what I want to do is I want to introduce the world to the real Libertarian Party, the party that ran a Jewish woman as their first vice presidential candidate and got us our first electoral vote, the party that was willing to allow an openly gay man to run for president in our party. We stood on political ground the left still will not walk near 40 years ago, and we need to do that again. Show this country we are not the Koch brother party. We don't want segregation. All we want is businesses to be allowed to refuse service that they don't want to do service with. If you own a falafel shop and a guy has a Kill All the Muslims t-shirt on, I want you to be able to tell that man to get out of your store. The same as if you're a bigot and you don't want a woman with a headscarf in your business, I think you should be able to tell her to leave too, because that's freedom. That's what freedom is. Freedom is the ability to associate with who you want and who you don't. But we don't have to sound like racists to say that. Let me tell that message. I'll get it across.
Larry, to you.
We'll do that now.
Okay.
Excellent. When people hear us say, I don't want the federal government to be responsible for feeding every child in this country, people hear, you want children to starve. That's our problem. We have to change how we speak. If we start with that, that is what hurts our brand. We've spent so much time hitting them with logic because we're right. But if logic was the problem, we would have already won the White House and the Congress, and the White House would be a tourist attraction right now. That's what would have happened. So it's not logic. That's our problem. It is emotion and that feeling. We must change that. We must get them to hear our message, and we can do that now. Once we change it, instead of saying, I don't want the government to be responsible, we say, is there a better way? Is there a better way? How can we fix this? They will hear us. In fact, if you tell a statist, what's the best way to feed children? They won't say government. They'll say charity. Oh yeah, charity. Now we can talk. Now they will hear us, and that's what we need. They have to understand something. We are the only party that has an ism. There is no democratic-ism, republic-ism, libertarian-ism. Why? Democrats want what is good and will help, but they will do anything to get that with that good intent, and it will end up in punishment. Republicans will do what is right and righteous, but they'll do whatever it takes to do that. It will end up in punishment. But libertarians, we have something special. We have the non-aggression principle. That principle says that I don't want to force anyone to do anything. So everything we do by default does not end in a new way to punish. That is why we have an ism and they don't.
Thank you. Moving on to William Weld.
Well, I think there's something in the question. You know, maybe that libertarian and libertarianism should not be the first word we put in the ears of the voters. You know, some voters do hear libertine, and they think, oh boy, there's going to be a whole bunch of unattractive people in our neighborhood as a result if we sign up on this petition. If you cut to the substance, and instead of opening with that word, you say, well, we're on the ballot in all 50 states. This is what we think. We don't agree with the Dems or the Rs. We think A, B, C, D. Okay? 55% of the country agrees with us. And then you can come back to describe, in general terms, freedom and liberty. In my part of the country, New England, the state motto of New Hampshire is live free or die. I love that motto. I love that motto. It's the only thing on my card, which is at your places. Live free. Now, live free is not going to excite any antipathetic reaction, and maybe that's the way to go.
Thanks. And over to you, Alicia.
It goes now. Yes, I think there is some truth to the idea that there is a branding problem, but actually I think it's a communication problem. We're not telling people what libertarianism means in a way that they connect with, in a way that centers on their experience. But actually, more than that, I think that most people just don't know what libertarianism is. I'll give you an example. The other day, I went and got my hair cut, and my hairdresser said to me, "What's a libertarian?" I get asked that a lot. You know what I said? I'm glad you asked. I'm going to tell you. Libertarianism, it's the idea that you do not need to ask the government for permission to live your life.
That's good.
And then I asked her, how much money did you spend getting a license to cut my hair? How much money do you have to pay the state of California for the right to work? And she said, you know, a lot of money, and it's getting worse. And I said, libertarians, we think that you should be free to cut my hair if I ask you to without you having to get permission for it. And she said, I can agree with that, and so did everybody else in that salon. So that so libertarianism, yes, the Libertarian Party is not as powerful as it should be because we're not getting the message out and we're not explaining it to the people one by one and telling them how government is impacting their lives and why they should be free from it.
Ask a Libertarian Facebook fan page is spreading awareness of libertarianism and informing non-libertarians while empowering those who support liberty on a daily basis. This is your opportunity to be empowered and let us advocate libertarianism for you at facebook.com/askalibertarian.